Hey, what's up, everybody? The VC here. All right, so instead of the V Club, I'd say the VC. All right, the Villain Club, same thing. Just shorten it even more. I'm trying to simplify things, try to spruce things up a bit, and I'm gonna try to go about things slightly differently on this channel. It's kind of political driven, but at the same time, I'm gonna infuse more lifestyle stuff into it as well. More life, even though I've mentioned it, but I really want to infuse it almost like a vlog style. So I'm going to start doing that. But anyhow, before we do that, this stuff I want to talk about because it's stuff about our lives, you know. And yes, it may be political driven and stuff at times, but I'll start infusing more like vlog stuff as well, and try to just continue to grow from there. So without further ado, let's talk about it. All right. So there's lots of things to talk about. All right. The other day, though, yesterday or 2 days ago, I talked about this very same subject about the New England head coach being fired. All right. Let's see if I can find that. Yeah, there it is. Patriots head coach fired after one season. Who's next? Or DEI hires, whatever, right? And I alluded to Antonio Pierce. And guess what? Antonio Pierce of the Raiders, head coach, right? Fired as well. So let's go take a look here. Raiders head coach. Let's see what they say. I'm just going to type in head coach, and then we're going to see what happens. um, Antonio Pierce fired by the Raiders. There you go. Breaking news: they fire him after one season as well. And the thing about player, I call them player coaches because they were former players, became coach, not really ready to be head coaches. They barely retired, maybe had a couple seasons in them as assistant coaches, and all of a sudden, right place at the right time, they're able to get the players on board because they've been there, right? Whether it's him or Mayo, but in the end, they both are not good coaches, and they got fired, and that's what happened. Are DEI hires, because technically they are DEI hires without anything proven except they were just former players, between him and Drod Mayo, right, over here. Besides that, what else have they proven? Nothing. So they're not seasoned to be coaches. They were just DEI hires, and that's where it's at. Anyhow, I just wanted to throw that out there that I alluded to that, and it came true. All right. Even though I thought at least Pierce should have been given another season because he didn't get shit. Like his general manager sucked because they traded Devontae Adams. All right, let me go back to the visual here of the Raiders. They traded their best receiver Devontae Adams. They let David Carr go to the Saints. They let Josh Jacobs, running back, go to Green Bay. So what did they really have? Nothing. They had no quarterbacks, no running backs. They had decent receivers and tight end, but that's all they had. So if you don't have those pieces, how are you gonna win? So yeah, fired. I don't know. It all starts from the top. So if the general manager didn't go or he needs to go because they were stuck with a bag of goods, and it's not fair to not get the general manager either. Might as well get him. Um, and I don't know. They're just alluding to bringing in Dion. Hey, bring on Dion and son, Shador, right? So that's that. All right. So that's the sports right there for you. Just wanted to share with you guys. I have no idea who they have in sight for the Raiders. Um, but yeah, Mark Davis, Tom Brady's part of the ownership committee now. So the Raiders. So he's going to have a lot of say and input, and of course, Mark Davis is going to have final say. But Tom Brady's going to have a lot of input and insight into it. So I think it's going to actually help the Raiders in the end. And plus, since Tom Brady's involved, I think he's probably going to help clean house. All right, that's what I think for the Raiders. Two good choices right there. See, and even though Mike Vrabel is a former player and now coach, he went through some years as assistant coaching before he became a head coach of the Titans. So he got some. Plus, he had good ownership to take care of him when it came to the players and all that. So yeah, Vrabel is a different kind of commodity. And then of course you have Pete Carroll, been on the sidelines. So John Gruden. I mean, the list goes on and on. Former winning coaches. All right, so I just wanted to share that with you guys on that. But I was right. I said, hey, Antonio Pierce might be next, even though I thought he should have been given another season. The Patriots had a better team and they couldn't win. So that just shows you how not so good the coaching was when it comes to that. So that's your sports update there. Also, let's talk about something else I wanted to talk about here. All right, let me see. Is it here? No, is it here? We'll come back to this one. Ah, yeah, the high-speed rail. Oh, man, you know what's funny about this? Being in California, right? High-speed rail, it's been like so-called building. It's been a money pit, right? For anybody that's involved in this thing, probably the pockets of Newsom. And it's a joke. This whole thing's been a joke, all right? Because they originally had legislation for this high-speed rail with the concept of running from San Francisco to LA, and it was supposed to be done. This was now 17 years ago, 2008, and with from 2008, they said, it's gonna be done in X amount of years. This is the budget we're gonna have for it, and it's like blew the budget big time, man. It blew the budget. They're relying on federal funding and more of our money to pay for it, and we don't care. None of us give a damn about it. And guess what? They remapped this whole thing, and I did a video about the high-speed rail if you want to check that out. But let's see what they got to say here real quick.
Do you have a car? Do you have a clean driving record? Did you know that you could pay as low as $39 a month?
Following his budget news, the governor announced updates to the controversial high-speed rail project. It comes as critics argue the project is way over budget and should be stopped.
Yeah.
ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen followed the governor's announcement and joins us now.
Becca, despite updates and progress to the high-speed rail project, Republican lawmakers are now introducing legislation to stop some funding. And tonight, the governor is responding to his critics and placing blame on the incoming president.
Fuck, really?
It's about damn time we have a high-speed rail system in the great state of California.
On Monday, Governor Gavin Newsom, joined by other leaders, announced the latest successes with the ongoing California high-speed rail project, including a railhead project that would build a freight yard to receive more track material.
Finally, the point where we're going to start laying down the high-speed rail track after the track itself that will allow us to get the equipment and the track equipment specifically to lay down that track gets moved.
Joined by the Rail Authority's CEO, they announced a portion of the project is now complete, and the state has partnered with Brightline West, who built a rail route in Florida and is working on a project connecting Las Vegas to Southern California.
Imagine traveling from Palm.
They're going to get the Vegas to LA route faster than this joke of a system here from supposedly San Francisco to LA, but it's built in the Central Valley right now, which doesn't make any sense. So get the fuck out of here.
Palmdale in LA County to Victor Valley and San Bernardino in just 25 minutes.
Just hours before Monday's news conference, Republican Congressman Kevin Kiley introduced a bill in Washington that would cut federal funding for the high-speed rail. Kiley says it's unrealistic to continue to spend money on this project.
I think it's unconscionable that we continue to throw billions of dollars at this failure of a project, which is never going to actually be built, just wasting people's money.
Governor Newsom admitted there is a gap for funding this project, but said it's nothing that the state can't close. He responded to criticism by blaming one person.
Who's doing that? Oh, Trump, maybe. Yeah. Oh, that's golden oldie.
Locally, Republican Senator Roger Neal.
How does Trump have anything to do with the playing of this system that's never been built in 17 years? You know what I mean? It's like, this is going back to Obama, 2008. So get the fuck out of here, man.
Agrees about the project's cost and has concerns about the long-term effects.
We have
Trump
no idea
federal
where
funding,
the money's
man.
coming from to fund either one of those segments, either the temporary segment or the final project.
A spokesperson for the High-Speed Rail Authority would not respond to the pending legislation, but did say it is committed in moving this project forward, adding it hopes to have the Merced to Bakersfield system operational by 2030 and 2033. And so far, 436 miles of Phase 1 from San Francisco to Los Angeles are fully environmentally cleared.
That's it. That's it. It's environmentally cleared, but nothing's really been, no track has been laid.
Speed Rail Authority says more than $11 billion has been invested in this project, resulting in more than $14 billion in economic benefits to the Central Valley, adding that this project has created more than 14,000 jobs and 875 small businesses are working on this project. Becca.
Great. The new GoDaddy Aero has AI marketing tools to help small...
What kind of shit is that? That's a joke. All right. Cut that shit. Cut the funding. All right. Then how he's gonna come up with? I can't wait to see when the federal funding's cut. Like what's next? How they gonna come up with it to complete this thing? I think it's a joke, a disaster, right? And you got to really see what I'm talking about here, right? So. The map is like way off. Let's see what the map, I don't know how the map is looking like. Let's see here. I guess the best way to look at it is Wikipedia here. I'm trying to get a nice picture size here, but originally it's supposed to go from San Francisco, for the most part, straight shot to LA, right? Yeah, of course, there's going to be stuff in the way. You know, they looked along 101. It's too many houses, too many, it's coastal. It's not, it's a bad route, right? So another way to go about it was to go along I-5. All right, so this is 101. So I-5 would be this middle one. And it's pretty much a straight shot. So it would divert to like 580 freeway and then to 101, or I'm sorry, to I-5. 5 is right down the middle here. Straight shot, boom. But instead, they diverted it even more to Central Valley, and they started building the project right here in Madera and Fresno. This is the only area they really have any sort of so-called serious development. All right, like any serious work going on right now is in this whole like Fresno, Madera area. All right. Other than that, not one track's been built in 17 years. But they're trying to fund this thing to go to Sacramento, to go to San Diego. Yeah, right. This thing, and they said that from what? They said from the first segment from Fresno to Bakersfield is going to be done by what, 2030 and 2033. So yet, this is if, all right, if it gets done in the next 5 to 8 years, you're barely going to get that segment going right here. Get the fuck out of here, man. So that's a joke. Right? I just wanted to mention that. And the reason why this is making news is because out of nowhere, when there's talk about cutting funding, he's like talking about, we're going to lay some track now. All right, so that was the whole thing about it. He went to the Central Valley to do a little dog and pony show and be like, hey, look, we're going to start laying some track now. So after 17 years, you're finally going to lay some track. All right, so I'm going to say it again. Get the fuck out of here, all right? I hope they cut that funding. So that's that. And now moving on to this here, Alright, so there's a viral video going around with this bathroom incident. It says dividing the internet. I thought Matt Walsh covered this pretty well, so I wanted to give you my take on it. All right, we'll play the video segment of it. And this is like a what would you do situation, all right? So we'll cut to that part, courtesy of Matt Walsh. We'll cut to this part. Let me know what would you do, all right?
Here it is.
Oh, so let me lay down the story. So you have a delivery driver like Uber, whatever, Uber Eats, whatever like that. No, I don't know what it is. He's dropping off food, but he has to use the bathroom really bad. So I'm going to play this out and see what you would do, all right?
We can't answer the door right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, you can do it now.
Hi, I have diarrhea. Please let me use your bathroom, please, please, please. I can't. I'm going to myself. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
And you can tell at this point he's kind of forcing his way to the front door there, and that's why she's saying, "Get out of my house."
You are scaring my kids. I'm sorry. Please get out of my house. No, I'm going to. Please get out of my house. Please get out of my house. I'm going to. Please. I'm get out of my house. You're scaring my children. Get out of my house.
All right, so he's kicked out. Then oddly enough, he kind of walks away. He walks away suspiciously slowly because I think maybe at that point...
At that point, he might have like shit his pants if he's talking about claiming to have diarrhea. Or he's just walking away because whatever he was trying to do didn't work out. It's really hard to figure out what was going on there, except he was frantic, sounded like a lunatic, and all that stuff. So the question was, what would you do in that situation? Would you let the guy in and shit in your bathroom? Or would you say, or do what she did, right? Because it's what he clearly was saying here, dividing the internet, because you were getting kind of a 50-50 on that situation there, where some people say, oh, you got to be a good person and let him in and use the bathroom, he's doing this work, and then others were saying, nah, man, you don't let nobody in your house, right? Because you never know what's going to happen. And these days, you can't let nobody in your house. I personally would not let him in my house and shit in my toilet that I got to clean up after. Fuck that. You go shit in the yard. Or, how come he just didn't go stop off somewhere first? Like if I was to pull up and I got to shit my pants badly, and I'm sitting there and I pulled up and I was like, damn it, I got to go, man. I'll just go pull up somewhere like a gas station or a Target or whatever, and you go just take a shit in there. Man, that's what I would do. I don't have the galls to go ask if I'm delivering something, to go ask somebody, hey, can I use your bathroom? No, it's just that's not the way. I would expect a no anyways. If worst comes to worst, I'd be shitting in the yard. Sorry, I couldn't make it. It's either in my pants or in my yard or in that yard. You know what I'm saying? But there's no way I can ask to go in a house, because I just won't expect a yes answer to go in the house. And so that's my take on it. You can't trust nobody, because next thing you know, what if that was just a way to get in, and the next thing you know, they're in your house. He's in your house, right? So yeah, and he made up a good point too, is that there's lots of bad to look about that, right? One, you're gonna shit in your house, so you gotta clean up his diarrhea shit. Two, you gotta eat food that this guy with diarrhea had in his possession, that now you gotta eat while he's shit in your house. I mean, it's just a recipe for disaster. It's just all bad all the way around, which was a good point he made. So my take on that is that no, I wouldn't let him in. I'd be like, I wouldn't even answer the door. I'd just wait for him to go away, since he rang the doorbell and it made that chime noise saying, oh, no one's here right now. I would just let him leave it on the doorstep, because that's what they have done before when I've had Uber deliver food. you know, they knock on the door or they just said they leave it on the doorstep, but that was it. Never had any interactions with the driver. I would just not even open the door. I would just leave it, you know, and wait for him to go away. That would be my other thing too. But if I coincidentally happen to open the door, I'd be like, nope, and I slam that door shut. I would not let someone shit in my house. Sorry. So that's my take on it. And so what would yours be on it? So Raiders head coach fired, as I predicted. High-speed rail is a fucking joke. And I would not let some guy shit in my house. I don't care how bad he had to go. I would not let him shit in my house. Sorry. You know, I don't care how frantic it is. I wouldn't expect it myself either if I had to go that bad. I go, like I said, I either drive off to a gas station or a store, or I end up in the yard doing my duty there. Dookie duty there. So, other than that, comment down below. Let me know what you think. Subscribe, hit the bell icon. What do you think about all this shit today? Other than that, I know, it's pretty funny. I'll see you in the next one.